Last month, we sent over 24,000 LinkedIn outreach without our accounts getting banned, and we booked over 200 appointments in the process. And in this video, I'm going to give you my warm-up SOP to set up these accounts so they do not go to spam. All right. So what you want to do is when you actually receive the account, so wherever you're getting it from, if it's yours, it's a little bit different. But if you're getting it from like a friend, or if you're getting it from, if you're just renting an account from someone else, you do not want to log into the account for 3 days after you rented it from them if you are logging into your own computer. The reason for that is because LinkedIn notices a change in location or a change in IP address. It's going to be like, how did you just teleport here? And it's going to watch your account, and like any wrong thing you do, it's just going to ban you. Okay. So that's very important that no one logs into the account for 3 days if you're transferring it from device to device. If you are using a proxy, and if you don't know what that is, you can just ignore this. But if you do know what that is, if you're using a proxy, then you can ignore this part, right? So another big thing is that if you are getting the account, you're probably going to want to brand the account under your company, right? You're going to want to change the bio, you're going to change the about, you're going to change a whole bunch of things. You only want to change one part of the actual account per day. So don't change the entire profile in one thing, because that's a very common thing to do if you're getting an account for outreach, and LinkedIn is going to pay attention to that, right? So between these 5 things, you only want to change one per day. So maybe first day it'll change the bio, second day it'll change the about section, third day it'll change the featured section, and you just do this on different days, right? Now, there's 3 tips that we'll go into the SOP on how you actually warm these up, but there's 3 tips I want to talk about first. Number 1 is when you are sending connection requests during this warm-up phase, you want to send it to people who are, number 1, actively posting, because this is going to increase your acceptance rate. LinkedIn will also be able to see how high is your acceptance rate. If it's very low, they're going to be like, okay, this guy's probably just spamming random people with connection requests. If you're getting a higher connection acceptance rate, they'll be like, okay, this guy's normally using the platform, right? Just connecting with people that they are expecting him to connect with them, right? So this is what you want to do. And if they're posting, right, they're going to be more likely to be active and more likely to accept your connection request. The second thing is you want to actually send it to your second network, again, for the same reason. And also, again, LinkedIn is like they see it as like a connection based platform, right? Where most of the people you're going to connect with are people that are like friends of friends or whatever, right? So you want to connect with your second network primarily. I have a client who also does this, which you can try this if you want to. I personally don't. But what he does is he sends to India, and he sends to people who are posting from India. And in that, country, they're like, if you're, from a first world country and you're connecting there, people, they have more opportunity to get, like, they just have more opportunities basically. Anyways, the reason why that's important is because he was getting like an 80 or a 90% connection acceptance rate. So if you want to try that, you can. That will also increase your connection acceptance rate, right? The second thing is you want to post daily on your account, even if the post sucks. So again, LinkedIn, they are very much pushing, like, they want creators on their platform. They want more content. There's like a very large deficit of content to people ratio, right? So if you are constantly posting content, they're going to be less likely to flag your account, because they're like, okay, this is what we want people to post content, right? So when you have your incentives aligned with LinkedIn, they're going to be less likely to ban you, right? So post content every day. If you don't have the time to do it, or like, this is probably not, if you're going to do it, you should do it well, but it's better to do something that sucks than not do anything at all. So you can just make like a ChatGPT prompt and then just post it, right? It's better than doing nothing. But it is actually a good idea to try and write good LinkedIn content, because this is a whole separate thing. But it's very highly profitable for you to make good content on LinkedIn. The third thing is to do half of your actions in the morning and half of them in the evening. And these are the actions we're going to go over in a second. If you are using a software to do the outreach, we're using HeyReach right now, and it's working great. So that will automatically spread it out, so you don't have to do it because it's automated. But if you are manually doing this, you're going to want to do half of the stuff in the morning and half of the evening, so it doesn't seem like you're just doing everything at once. Again, you want to just behave like LinkedIn wants you to behave, basically, right? Like a normal person. So week 1 of warm up, right? So this is 3 days after you not logged into the account. You get on the account, right? First thing you're going to do is you're going to do 5 connections. You're going to scroll randomly for 5 minutes, like a degenerate human that goes on social media on LinkedIn, right? Because again, this is the people that LinkedIn wants on their platform. You want to send 5 warm DMs. So basically what this is just sending DMs to your existing network. If you have multiple accounts, you can just send DMs between each other, so it looks like you're having a conversation. Again, LinkedIn wants like real conversations, not just sales conversations. So if you make it look like you're doing that, again, we're just aligning our incentives here. And then you want to do one post, right? Like I said, you want to do one post always. Then you're just going to ramp up the connections one by one, and you're going to continue to do this. You don't want to do this, send on weekends. Again, LinkedIn is a very B2B platform. So, you can do this on weekends, but LinkedIn typically doesn't like it as much. Same thing here. Week 2, you're just going to continue to increase one per day, and you're going to continue to increase by one per day, and you're going to do everything else the same, right? Now, it gets a little bit different when we go into week 4. So all this time, you do not want to get Sales Navigator, because typically what happens when people get LinkedIn accounts is they just get the LinkedIn account, right? They just change everything. They get Sales Navigator and they start doing a ton of outreach, right? So if you get Sales Navigator, like right when you do all these changes, and also, like right when you start really using the account more frequently, LinkedIn's going to be like, okay, this guy's just trying to, break the system. And they want you to get Sales Navigator, but you should warm the account up before you get Sales Navigator. I've seen it many, many times where people just get Sales Navigator and then like in the next 12 hours, they're banned, right? So delay this for a couple of weeks. Week 4, you're going to continue to increase the connections one per day. And then we can actually start doing in-mails, right? And these are like open profile messages. If you don't know anything about open profiles, you can check out my LinkedIn outreach videos on my channel. I'll link one of them below and at the end of this video. But you want to start doing in-mails at this point. So you start with 5, then increase by 2 per day. And then you continue to increase by 2, right? And you keep doing the scrolling, you keep doing the warm DMs, and you keep doing the posts. And then week 5, you're going to cap it at 25 connections per day. Now, you can do more than this, right? So my account is sending about 40 connection requests per day. However, you are putting yourself at risk if you do more than 25. You definitely can do more than 25, and we are doing it. However, if you want to be, 100% sure that your account is going to be safe, just stay at 25, right? Then you can continue to ramp up the in-mails also until 25 per day. Again, same thing with in-mails. Like I think my account does 40 a day. So if you want to, be on the riskier side, if you have a really strong account, like I do, like we post every day and we get a bunch of, like it's a legit account, right? Then you're more like, you're less likely to get banned. But if you really want to play the safe game, then I would recommend staying at these limits. And that's basically it, right? And then maintenance, you just want to stay at 25 connections a day, 25 in-mails a day, and 1 post. You can not do the warm DMs as much as if you don't want to, because you're going to be doing all the cold DMs and you're going to be having conversations with them. And you're going to be, you don't really need to do the scrolling as much anymore, right? So that's basically it. It's very simple. If you follow this to a T, you're going to get your accounts not banned, and you're going to be able to get a lot of appointments. All right. So I'm going to put a video at the end of this to, if you want to check out how we actually do outreach and send 600 outreach a day. Other than that, I will see you guys later.